Greetings to the class of 2020 and welcome to the first virtual commencement in the history of the University of Connecticut. I know this is not the ceremony you had in mind when you started your studies at UConn some time ago, but it doesn't reduce the significance of this day in your life or the importance of what you've achieved. You deserve to be celebrated for all you've accomplished, and it's our intent to do exactly that today. And again, in person, in regalia, in October, if possible. So, with that, let me say, live from the storied Jorgensen Center for Performing Arts in Storrs, Connecticut, it's the UConn 2020 commencement ceremony, and it's Saturday night.
Congratulations to the UConn class of 2020. Okay, I get it. This is not exactly the commencement ceremony you would anticipated, nor your parents. You thought you'd probably be walking through Gamble Pavilion and collecting the sheepskin, but it is a graduation you will never forget. And you will never forget the amazing things you did at UConn.
Good morning, class of 2020, and welcome to our virtual commencement. I'm so honored to be able to be here today to provide some short remarks on a day that looks and feels very differently than what we all had imagined. Like many of you, I had spent countless days and moments dreaming about what my senior year would look like, and with whom I'd experience the bittersweet lasts of what Storrs, Connecticut has to offer. I didn't know what it would all entail, but I did vow that it would be a senior year to remember. Looking back, I couldn't have known that the culmination of all those daydreams would give me exactly what I'd asked for, a truly unforgettable senior year, and a lifelong reminder to always be careful what you wish for. Class of 2020, I think we can all agree when I say this: we have never known a perfect world. Many of us grew up on the heels of 9/11, learned our ABCs against the backdrop of Hurricane Katrina and other natural disasters, and watched as our parents and loved ones fought to stay afloat during the 2008 financial crisis. Many of us are the first in our families to be in this country, the first to attend college, and many of us have had to fight tooth and nail to go to an institution like this and to navigate an institution that hasn't always felt like home. Yet in the midst of what feels like a generational free fall, there has been a truth that has remained constant. While we have never known a perfect world, we never needed a guarantee of success to try to strive for it. When I look for inspiration, especially in this moment, I look no further than our class itself. In our class, there are scientists, visionaries, entrepreneurs, and current and future leaders. We are the future, and I'm certain of this. Now, I know that right now is incredibly uncertain. We find ourselves in the midst of a once-in-a-century pandemic, but there is hope, because the language of progress that we seek in this moment does exist. This pandemic has presented itself as an existential threat, but it is not our first. The future has not always been certain. As we strive to formulate a language of change and progress, let us take refuge in the words left behind for us by the great social movements and leaders of our time and the times before us. Dr. King once said, "I believe that unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word in reality." It is with these words that I believe King offers us all a fundamental challenge to carry with us wherever we go. The challenge to lead with a deep love, to respond to instances of crisis and frustration with a love that doesn't seek vengeance, but instead justice. In this challenge, I believe that we must speak our truths, hold ourselves and others accountable, and carry the values that make us all proud Huskies. So to the class of 2020, or as we now call it, the COVID class, let's accept this challenge and continue to have the audacity to strive for a world that is worthy for all of us.
And I'm the coach of the University of Connecticut women's basketball team. So for the class of 2020, I'm supposed to deliver a message. But you've already gotten some messages, I'm sure, about how you're going to change the world. about how the other generations before you were impactful and how you're going to do great things. All the things that people say at graduation speeches. So this is really not a graduation speech, really. This is something that I would say if you were here standing right in front of me. This is stuff that I say to my players, my kids, right? And here's what I would say. This is your defining moment. Each generation has a defining moment. That generation had the war. My generation had Vietnam. Then another generation had 9/11, if you want to call that a generational thing, which I'm sure for a lot of people it was. Now this is your time. This will define your generation. This is you now. Everybody's looking for answers. Maybe you get to provide the answers. Maybe somebody in this class comes up with the answers so these things that are happening now won't happen again. Doubtful. But if they do happen, someone in this group that I'm talking to is responsible for finding the answers, handling those kinds of problems that are definitely going to come. This will be your defining moment that you'll tell your kids and your grandkids, hey, you're not going to believe this? I missed my graduation. Why? Oh, let me tell you. And then you'll be able to tell them, this is what I did during that time. What'd I do? I sat home in my pajamas. Or what? I started to figure things out. What can I do to make it better? For who? Me? No, you can't make it better for you. Not necessarily unless you work out more, take piano lessons, learn how to play chess. No, you're going to end up making it better for the other people that depend on you or that you depend on. I'm going to read something to you to wrap this up. I got this from one of my players. She's not even a player yet. She's coming to school here next year. So that means she's a senior in high school. It's not that far removed from you guys. I'm going to give it to you right now. Because I had posed a question to her that somebody said, you know, you got to tone it down with today's kids. Because they were, they're not able to handle some of the things that basketball coaches do, teachers do, parents do, whatever the case may be. Here's what she said. I feel like today, we always hear stories about how our grandparents and even our parents had a harder life than us. And I think in some way, they wanted to be better for us by providing us with the things they didn't have growing up. Toning it down with today's kids sounds like Coach Burrell and possibly other coaches and people around society feel that we are too soft because of how we were raised and the things, listen now, that make us comfortable that actually disable us. It's a high school kid. So in a roundabout way, you know what she's saying? This is an uncomfortable time. These are uncomfortable things that have to be done right now. You are living in uncomfortable times. So in some sense, you are living in the greatest time of your life. It's great to be uncomfortable because that's when you find out just how great you can really be. So good luck, best wishes, stay healthy, be a great teammate, and congratulations on being a University of Connecticut graduate of the class of 2020.
As Chairman Toscano said, this is your day and your university, and we mean that. Students today, Huskies Forever is not just a slogan, it's a promise that no matter where you go in the world, no matter where your talents and passions take you, you'll always have a home here at the University of Connecticut. You'll always be welcome. I look forward to following your progress, and I expect to see you back here again soon in person. And now, it is my great pleasure and honor to present the University of Connecticut Class of 2020. The names of all graduates will now scroll across your screen alphabetically by school and degree. Congratulations, Huskies.